With a stay-at-home order, more people turn to family members for support during COVID-19. I'm Kelsey Briggs, and I'm here to tell you the importance of our furry companions during the pandemic.
We've received the COVID-19 vaccine, but the question is now, is there still a normal to return to? I'm Maggie Burke.
Today, I'm going to show you how some students are organizing to try to find a compromise with the OSU ticket office.
Many events have been canceled this year due to the COVID pandemic, and the NFL Combine was no different. I'm Joseph Fazio, and I'm going to go over what happened at Cowboy football's important pro day.
All this and more on News OSU. Hello and welcome to News OSU for April 6, 2021. I'm Destiny Adams and thank you for joining us. We begin with news from the university. On Friday, Dr. Casey Schrum was announced as the next president of OSU. President Designee Schrum and President Hargis will have a joint press conference to introduce Schrum and her family. Dr. Schrum is the first woman to take on the role and is the 19th president of OSU. She is a well-known leadership figure at our institution, and what many may not know is she is a family woman. Dr. Schrum has 6 kids and a husband. She can be found in the university's medical research labs or enjoying the perks of Oklahoma, such as horseback riding or attending softball games.
But of course, representation isn't everything, right? And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do with that representation, what she does in terms of supporting women's programs, women's leadership, women's resources on campus. We just came out of Women's History Month, and so there's a lot of really exciting women's organizations doing amazing work on campus, and I can't wait to see what she can do in terms of supporting that work.
Dr. Schrum has big shoes to fill, and university students and staff are eager to see the new programs and ideas she will bring to this university. Now for an update on the final stage of the Oklahoma COVID-19 vaccine distribution plan. Oklahoma began Phase 4 on March 29th. This means any Oklahoma resident is eligible for the COVID-19 vaccination. According to the state, 2.11 doses of the vaccine have been administered since the vaccine administration plan began. Over 800,000 Oklahomans are fully vaccinated, and around 23% of Oklahoma's population is vaccinated. This Thursday, April 8th, OSU will be administering the 1-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The vaccine pod will take place in Gallagher-Iba Arena in the morning from 8 to 11 a.m. and in the afternoon from 1 to 5 p.m. All OSU students, faculty, and staff are eligible to register for the vaccine clinic. To schedule an appointment, go to emmylabs.com. Be sure to use the code COWBOYVACCINE at registration. When the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a nationwide lockdown, many people decided it was time to bring home a furry companion to keep them sane while at home. Pet adoptions jumped up nearly 34% since last April, but how are these pandemic pets and their owners adjusting to life slowly shifting back to normal? Kelsey Briggs talked to officials here in Stillwater about the adoption increase in the city.
These friendly faces are serving a big purpose throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. As more people were forced to work from home, an increase for a companion happened across the nation.
Our adoptions soared, and I think that's the thing everybody was surprised about.
According to the Washington Post, pet adoption rates rose nearly 34% since last April. Shelters like ones here in Stillwater were considered essential businesses and stayed open during the pandemic. Stillwater Animal Shelter Director Mary Dickey says the shelter was busy with adoptions during COVID.
So with all the people who were off work, they came in, they got a pet to keep them company.
Shelters were barely able to keep animals for more than a day before they were adopted. Stillwater Humane Society Director Jackie Ross Guerrero says the higher rates in adoptions helped people's overall mental health.
I think a lot of people were stressed out, and we all know that animals will help relieve stress. So we still can't keep cats in the shelter. As soon as we get cats in, they get adopted right away.
Cats were not the only ones adopted during these higher rates. Megan Robinson adopted her dog Bixby in order to help relieve the stress of the pandemic.
When I get home from work and he's in his crate and he's shaking his little butt because he's so excited to see me, that's like the best feeling. And then when I come in, I'll let him out of the crate and then I just sit on the floor with him and he just comes into my lap and we just do pets and snuggles. It just, makes you feel loved.
Not only are people saving the lives of these animals through adoptions, but the animals in turn are saving the lives of individuals by providing a steady support system. Kelsey Briggs, News, OSU.
The long-awaited COVID-19 vaccine is in distribution across the country after months of lockdowns and various safety precautions. However, will society be able to return back to normal after a year adjusting to life around COVID-19? Maggie Burks has more in this week's I'm Just Saying.
We are so close, so very close to getting back to the everyday activities we all miss so much. But no, we're not quite there yet.
For the past year, the world has been hearing the phrase, the new normal. But as Oklahoma moves into phase 4 of the COVID-19 vaccination plan, accomplishing normal will not be a short process. There's a lot to unwind after the damage the past year has done. Our lives have been flipped upside down, making pre-COVID life seem unattainable. Some states are still shut down completely, while others, such as Oklahoma, are moving closer to normal. Imagine being in a packed stadium again, or even in a classroom this size with 25 other people and not a mask in sight. Changes this big will take time to adjust to. Mental health is a serious area of concern that has been heavily affected by COVID-19, and it is not something that can be fixed by getting a shot. The Census Bureau's Household Pulse Survey and KFF Health Tracking polls show that 41% of adults have reported symptoms of anxiety or depressive disorder since January 2021, compared to only 11% of adults reporting symptoms in June 2019. Mental health is not something that can be healed just like that, especially when there is no clear sign of when normal will return. Along with this, society lost a lot of social interaction. Constantly being told to stay away from other people and not being able to see others' faces can lead to a loss of social skills. This ties back into mental health concerns. The economy is also something that will take a lot of time to recover. More than 9,700 businesses in Oklahoma had to temporarily or permanently close down due to COVID-19. Rebuilding the economical effects of this can take years. Life is looking up in Oklahoma with widespread vaccine distribution, but we still have a long road ahead. I'm Maggie Burke, and I'm just saying.
While the university is trying to return to normal for students, some things on campus are changing more permanently. The OSU ticket office has put in place restrictions that prevent student ticket resales. This was caused by controversy for many students, and some believe this is going to create empty seats at sporting events. Scout Cooper has more.
Oklahoma State Athletics has a long reputation for having some of the rowdiest fans in the country that fill up stadiums week after week all year long. Obviously that changed due to COVID-19 social distancing guidelines. But some students on campus think new policies set by the ticket office will keep fans from filling up stadiums like they have in the past. Once upon a time, getting OSU tickets was as easy as getting Chick-fil-A in the Union. You just swiped your card, they scanned your All Sports Pass, and you were good to go. Now, everything runs through your phone. The changes affect how digital tickets work, where in the past you had a QR code that you would scan at the door. In an effort to prevent people from trading or selling tickets, the changes would create a rotating barcode that only activated on a specific device and only within a certain radius from the stadium. This effectively prevents students from trading their tickets in the way someone with a season ticket could do on websites like StubHub.
Where you can't get a ticket, right? And if somebody you know has got a ticket, they can't give it to you because if they don't want to go. And that's an empty seat. And we don't want that, especially when we're playing OU or playing Kansas in basketball or playing Texas in football. We don't want that, you know? So that's why one of the reasons why I started that petition. And that's where we're at right now. We're talking to different individuals, talking to Student Government Association, trying to get some legislation, some official approval passed to show in the university that we have a voice on this campus, and we're trying to make sure and have our voices heard.
I reached out to the ticket office at OSU, but did not receive a response or comment. You can support this petition by going to Garrison's Twitter at GarrisonAllen4 or go to change.org. For News OSU, I'm Scout Cooper.
Oklahoma State men's basketball defeated the national champions, technically. The Cowboys have the consolation of knowing they took down the best team in the nation. Baylor defeated previously unbeaten Gonzaga Monday night in dominant fashion, winning 86-70. Baylor is the first Big 12 team to win March Madness since Kansas did in 2008. Now, Oklahoma State basketball waved off two of its greatest ever stars in Natasha Mack and Kate Cunningham. The two superstars didn't leave without collecting a litany of awards. Mack was named as the Naismith Women's Defensive Player of the Year. The Women's College Basketball Coaches Association also dubbed Mack as the Division I Defensive Player of the Year. Cunningham was named the Division I Freshman of the Year by the National Association of Basketball Coaches. This was the fifth major Freshman of the Year award for Cunningham. The OSU freshman was also a finalist for the Naismith Trophy and the John Wooden Award. On Thursday, Cunningham spoke to the media and said his farewell to Oklahoma State.
This year was a great year for me. I feel like I've grown tremendously throughout the year from a person and a basketball standpoint. So I'm always going to be a Cowboy for life. So I look forward to coming back and being able to support my squad whenever they play, pull up. Hopefully I can be courtside by then, but
Cunningham will see what the future holds for him this summer with the NBA draft taking place on July 29th. Mack won't have to wait long to know what's in store for her, with the WNBA draft date being April 15th. Now, OSU football's Pro Day is always a big event, as it's the last time some of your favorite Cowboys will be competing in Stillwater. But this year's Pro Day had a little more of an impact due to the pandemic. Joseph Fazio has more.
Cowboy football has been looking forward to this Pro Day for months. Not only does Oklahoma State have many highly touted prospects, but this is the only time players will be able to perform in front of NFL scouts. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the annual NFL Combine in Indianapolis was canceled this year. That meant college pro days and private workouts with teams meant a whole lot more. Scouts from every NFL team, except the Los Angeles Rams, were in attendance to see what former Oklahoma State football players have to offer. Running back Chuba Hubbard and wide receiver Tylen Wallace led the group in the 40-yard dash with a best time of 4.48 seconds. Hubbard's draft stock fell considerably due to his performance last season compared to his Heisman campaign in 2019. But after getting many surgeries to fix his injuries, Hubbard says he's still one of the top running backs in the draft class.
Wherever I get drafted, first round, seventh round, undrafted free agent, whatever happens, I just need a shot.
After skilled drills such as the 40-yard dash and 3-cone drill, players moved on to their position workouts. Former OSU and current Canadian Football League quarterback Taylor Cornelius threw to many of his former teammates in route running drills. Receivers such as Wallace and future New England Patriot Dylan Stoner fared well in the workout, but every player still had a case of the Butterfingers at least once. Maybe it was the thought of this being his only chance to work out in front of scouts, but Stoner says he was nervous coming into the pro day.
Especially to have a pro day, later in the process, you see everyone's times and get even more anxious. So definitely some nerves going into it, but I think we were all ready to go, and it was just anxious and ready to get out here and perform more than anything.
Players will still have the chance to do private workouts with teams interested in them, but they left everything they had on the field, and hopefully for them, it'll mean great things for their draft stock. For News OSU, I'm Joseph Fazio.
Cowboy football resumed its second week of spring training and had its first session in pads. Head coach Mike Gundy says he is pleased with the team's development and is looking forward to the year.
On most springs, we have between 85 and 90 players, and right now I think we have 112 out there based on so many early enrollees, transfers, and then the super seniors. So we're able to get a lot of reps. That's an exciting time for us.
The OSU spring football game will take place later this month on Saturday, April 24th. Now, 11th ranked Cowboy baseball is in need of an opponent this weekend. This upcoming weekend's home series against Central Arkansas has been canceled due to COVID-19 issues on UCA's team. The Cowboys were looking to continue their hot form after a Big 12 series victory against West Virginia this past weekend. OSU sealed the weekend series with a dominating 21-run performance against the Mountaineers. The Cowboys are actively searching for an opponent to come to O'Brate Stadium this weekend. If OSU is unable to schedule a series, then the next game will be at home against Oral Roberts on April 13th. Cowgirls softball had 2 walk-off wins and hit a historic landmark in its series sweep of Iowa State. OSU opened and closed the weekend series with walk-off wins. On Thursday night, it was Kylie Naomi who got the job done with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 7th inning. The result marked head coach Kenny Gajewski's 200th career win with OSU. Win number 202 also came in the form of a walk-off. The series sweep improved the Cowgirls' conference record to 5-1. The Cowgirls will continue conference play this weekend in Lubbock against the Red Raiders.
Thanks, David. That's all the time we have for this week's News OSU. I'm Destiny Adams. Stay safe, and we will see you next week on News OSU.